Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love, and today's episode I am going to be doing a review of THORChain, the second project to have their IDO on Binance DEX. Now, what is THORChain? Well, they are a lightning fast liquidity protocol. They're aiming to solve the problem of liquidity on DEXs. Because as of right now, most people don't use DEXs. Why? Because there's no liquidity. Well, THORChain has solutions to solve that, and we're going to be talking about that in this review, how they're going to solve that, so that way more people can use decentralized exchanges so they can have trustless, permissionless exchanges of cryptocurrencies where you don't need to rely on a centralized entity that could collapse like Mt. Gox or something like that. So, it need be said before I get started, this is a sponsored review, so I did receive payment from THORChain in Bitcoin to do this review. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be shilling THORChain. I'm going to tell you what THORChain is, and then at the end of the episode, I will tell you my opinion of the project, what I think about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, to begin with, we'll try and keep this brief, but there's a lot of information, and I'll be honest, there is a lot of information. It's a lot to wrap your head around. So, THORChain is powering fast and low-fee digital asset swaps, enabling instant and liquid payments. So it's built for cross-chain permissionless digital asset liquidity. Stake assets in liquidity pools to earn fees, swap assets instantly at open market prices, borrow and lend on any asset, and pay in any currency. The future is open, liquid, and incentivized. There's a lot that they just mentioned in there. So basically, everybody has crypto that they just have kind of sitting somewhere, not earning anything. And you guys know I talk all the time about like Monarch and Celsius because you can earn interest when you use those. But with THORChain, you can actually stake your cryptocurrency, still maintain possession of them so you're not giving them to a centralized entity, and yet earn fees and interest and things like that, which is pretty exciting because that's something that's been not available yet. So that's one of their solutions for providing liquidity for the market, is enabling you to stake your assets. You earn fees on that, but it provides more liquidity for the market. Now also, it allows for basically any currencies to be matched up. So in the future, instead of just being able to swap between like Ethereum or ERC20 stuff, it'll be anything in the future. Now, let's go on further. You see, THORChain is a protocol built to incentivize liquidity for digital assets, a multi-chain protocol to dynamically scale with assets, proof of stake, PBFT consensus with on-chain governance. Now, some other PBFT things you might have heard of before are Hyperledger Fabric, Zilliqa, Tendermint. You might have heard of some of those names before, so it's not brand new, but they're using it because it works. On-chain swaps, liquidity and asset generation, and layer 1 cross-chain and layer 2 cross-network compatibility. So it's pretty complex. Now that in itself is just THORChain, because THORChain is more than just THORChain. It's actually a whole ecosystem. So it's for multi-layer technologies, but basically there's a bunch of different parts. So we just talked about THORChain, but also there's the Yggdrasil, whatever, however you say that protocol, the Flash Network, the Bifrost Protocol, the Asgardex, and Aesir Protocol. Now, if you have noticed, THOR, all these other words like Yggdrasil, Asgardex, Aesir, also Rune is their token, you might have noticed there's like a Norse thing that they're going for. And fortunately, I just watched The Last Kingdom and also Norsemen, so I'm pretty well versed in all things Norse. But let's get into what each of these different pieces of the ecosystem are. So we already talked about THORChain. Then the Bifrost Protocol is a cross-chain bridge protocol for THORChain. So scalable bidirectional bridges with any other chain. Fast and trustless value transfer with choice of performance or security. Byzantine resistant with full THORChain network security and complete fungibility of assets underwritten by the protocol. The Flash network is a layer 2 network for cross-network instant asset exchange. So a layer 2 payment channel network supporting all THORChain assets, shared liquidity hubs anchored to THORChain trustless price feeds, protocol incentives for liquidity and reliability, and connections with Lightning Network and Ethereum layer 2. So that's pretty exciting. You can see how all the bridging is bringing it all together. Then there's Aesir Protocol, which is a forkless governance protocol for THORChain. So incentivize governments for maximum on-chain participation, supports account state protocol and architectural upgrades, a single canonical chain set forkless by design, and two-layer quadratic voting to avoid plutocracies and manipulation. And finally, that brings us to Asgardex, a lightning-fast liquidity interface with trustless liquidity pools. So connected to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, and more. So look at that connection to some big ones there. Instant asset swaps at trustless prices. So because they're going to be providing all this liquidity, it's going to do away with the price differences on exchanges because there's going to be incentives to provide a market price. Self-sovereign liquidity staking for any asset, deep on-chain continuous liquidity with incentives, and advanced features such as derivatives, lendings, indexes, and baskets. Now, that's all what's in the plan for THORChain, but what they've got coming up first is BEPSwap, DeFi or decentralized finance on Binance chain. So they've announced BEPSwap and also stake BEP2 assets. So BEPSwap is going to be THORChain's first go-to-market liquidity pool platform and can be described as Uniswap for Binance chain. Now Uniswap is one of Ethereum's killer DeFi apps with over 21 million staked and 2 million in daily volume. So this is basically going to show that THORChain can actually work with some real live assets on Binance chain. So with BEPSwap, basically it'll have the following features. So for token users, you can instantly swap assets in your wallet or swap and send them to friend at market prices. For token holders, you can stake your tokens in liquidity pools and earn commissions on every trade, which is awesome. You don't have crypto just sitting around doing nothing. You're actually hodling and earning, and you're maintaining your private keys. For traders, you can monitor pool prices and earn by trading the pools to correct prices. So this is one way that they do away with arbitrage. And then for projects, you can connect to BEPSwap to allow your token holders to instantly swap in and out of assets whilst using your dApp. So therefore, you can stake your treasury to instantly give you token deep liquidity and earn trading fees. So any new projects don't have to worry about trying to get listed on an exchange because all of a sudden they can be listed on the DEX and connect to BEPSwap, and all of a sudden, boom, they're right there. So the BEPSwap gains security from the Byzantine fault-tolerant network of THORChain validators managing assets in Binance chain pools secured by threshold signatures. So here's the thing, your assets never leave Binance chain, and users will be able to swap to use existing BEP2 wallets, including Trust Wallet and Nano, to swap. Furthermore, you see, one of the ways that THORChain provides liquidity is by using these continuous liquidity pools. So they work by bonding two assets to each other in a pool in terms of their value. Each time an asset is placed in the pool, the opposite value is emitted in a ratio that matches the corresponding change in value. As such, trading across a pool creates a price slip, which serves as the basis for arbitrage, staking incentivization, and price predictability of the pool. So the price slip is mathematically defined. Basically, values always match across the pool no matter how large or small the pool is. The trade price is mathematically defined and predictable ahead of time. Those staking the underlying liquidity always earn a return on the trade, and those arbitraging across the pool earn a return on the trade as well. So basically, they're aiming to do two things. One, to provide liquidity, and two, to do away with these ridiculous price fluctuations that we sometimes see. Now, the roadmap is I think it's a clearly defined roadmap that they have here. So we'll just go through it piece by piece. So first, THORChain will first deploy a liquid and easy to use interface for Binance chain and BEP2 assets called BEPSwap. This allows for the key technologies of THORChain to be refined and improved with real assets. So that's happening right now. Then THORChain will deploy Asgardex, which will be connected to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Monero, allowing permissionless asset swaps and staking. So that's great because it's really, really hard at this time to permissionlessly and trustlessly swap between, let's say, like Bitcoin and Monero. But through this, you'll be able to do it. Then THORChain will launch a Flash network anchored by layer 1 trustless price feeds and with cross-network liquidity hubs for instant and reliable asset exchange across any network. And in the final phase, THORChain will launch the THOR payments ecosystem, a suite of user and end-user tools and hardware, enabling self-sovereign and trustless payments between customers and merchants globally. So they have a big roadmap ahead of them. They're just at the very beginning right now. The whole ecosystem is powered by Rune, which, because I know so much about Norse mythology and such, a rune is something of value. Boom, like Rune. Now, what does it do? Well, it provides network security. So THORChain validators bond Rune to earn block rewards, proof of stake. Rune holders can delegate tokens to validators to share the reward. Provides on-chain liquidity, so Rune holders stake assets to earn liquidity fees in both layer 1 liquidity pools and layer 2 liquidity hubs, and on-chain governance. So members bond Rune to cast votes for continuous protocol governance. So it has a lot of uses there. Now, let's take a look at the team. I will be interviewing the project manager, Kai Ansari, later on, so anything that I miss here we'll be able to ask him. If you guys have any questions, definitely post the questions down in the comments, because I will use those questions to ask him for the interview. That way we can get more answers that you guys want to know, or of course you can contact them on social media. But here's the thing. So we look at the team, pretty big team. Just from looking here, I see like Yale, Cambridge, blah, 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 blah. But if we take a look at the team, this is from Binance's website where it talks about the project. So Kai formerly was the Kenya project manager. Otherwise, on the management team, we see people from Red Bull, from Yelp. Okay, in terms of developers, we have people from Microsoft, from Gigster, from Amazon, from Forbes, from Uber. So a lot of heavy hitters on the team. In terms of advisors and researchers, from Stanford, from University of Manchester, from Oxford University. Okay, someone who worked for Republic Protocol before. So we have a lot of different people with both blockchain experience and also, smart people. Now that brings me to the white paper. Now, generally, I like to read white papers. This one is, hefty. I'll say it's hefty because there's a lot to it. I mean, it is huge. I didn't read the whole thing. I scanned through most of it, but I didn't read the whole thing because it's a lot and it's very, very technical, which tells me one of two things. Either they're trying very hard to trick people like me that they actually know what they're doing, or they actually know what they're doing, So, and not only this isn't the only white paper. There's also one for the Bifrost Protocol for Flash, for Yggdrasil, and for Aesir. So if you guys want to know more about it, I highly encourage you, go. It'll probably take 3 weeks of your life, but you could read through all of those white papers. So guys, that is the review of THORChain. Now, what do I think about it? Because I'm entitled to an opinion. A few things. First, I'm impressed. It appears like they know what they're doing. I don't know that for a fact, but it appears like they're very formidable. Like they have, it's a very big project that they're going after. Very ambitious. It reminds me of Cardano back in the day. That's just the feeling that I got through reading through everything, taking a look at everything here. It seems like the team that they have has a lot of heavy hitters on it who can probably deliver. Something personally that I like, they have a nice website. Also, a lot of information on there. A lot of stuff that you can read and learn more about it. And plus, I think that the problem that they're trying to fix is a problem that needs to be fixed. Like, I personally want to use DEXs, but I generally don't because it sucks for trading. But if you can incentivize people to stake their cryptos, securely stake their cryptos, and provide liquidity to a giant, decentralized, trustless, permissionless network, that's an awesome problem to solve. So I think what they're trying to do is great. So those are all the good things. The negatives that I will say about it: very ambitious project. So hugely ambitious project. Let's see if they can pull it off. Also, the issue with decentralized things. I'm from the United States, so we always have problems with the SEC dragging their feet, not wanting to do anything. Who knows about decentralized exchanges and KYCs and what exactly that means regarding THORChain? But overall, in terms of this project, I would give this one a thumbs up because it seems pretty badass and it seems like the team is doing it. It seems like the team knows what they're doing. Now, that does not say that I'm telling you to go ahead and purchase this. Definitely not. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. This is just a review that I got paid to do because they're buying time on my channel and your attention, and furthermore, that's it. So if you like this, if you got something from it, definitely subscribe, like the video. Guys, if you want to know more about THORChain, like if you have specific questions that I didn't answer here, definitely put those down in the description. And thanks for watching. I will catch you guys next time. All right, peace.